but don't say shit or bugger.
Oh shit!
Ah, bugger.
Good evening, everybody. We're back. Everybody's say hello.
Hello.
Hello. So we're down, Andy. Hopefully temporarily at the moment. I think my audio is still really loud. So we're gonna crack on anyway. See how much trouble Harry and Gerald can get into.
But what happens if we need somebody that has got like a dance skill?
to cause distraction with some interpretive dance.
I can definitely do that.
I'll do the bad acting.
But so I did have
I
some.
think we can both definitely do that.
I did have some things I was going to say. I haven't written anything down. Not organised. So
I've got my notes, but I can't read them.
There was a house that everybody had got killed in, apart from somebody.
I've got some names.
All right, we're doing recap, are we? All right. Sorry.
Who's Lionel Trollope? Is that the doctor?
Lionel Trollope is a family doctor. Does that sound like a baby in the background?
It did. That was a bit. It's not my baby. And then I've got two names: Alexander Roberts. That's the guy in the asylum, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Graham Robert, his banker.
His brother, who is a city banker. Yeah, high profile city banker.
So, Alexander Roberts' father and sister were murdered.
Brutally murdered.
He confessed, but the police later released him because there wasn't enough evidence.
Because he couldn't have done it, apparently.
Yeah, they didn't think it was him. But he went doolally and was put into an asylum. And we've been approached by that Dr.
Charles Highsmith.
Yeah. Got Highsmith, missed the first name. So we're kind of working for him now because he's got the power to release Alexander, but the family, his brother, don't want.
Yeah. So he were put into the asylum under, I forget the exact name of the court order, but under a mandatory, and he was put into the asylum. It was triple. The court order was signed off by his brother, the family physician, and also Dr. Highsmith. And under that court order, there was a mandatory detention at the asylum of 2 years. Now that time period is about to expire. It comes to an end in November, at which point there's a review of his case to decide whether he is fit to be released. Dr. Highsmith is of the opinion that Alexander has no long-term mental illness and should be released, but is experiencing resistance from both the Dr. Trollope, the family physician, and Alexander's older brother, Graham.
And it's strange because Dr. Highsmith hasn't been able to get in touch with Dr. Trollope, and he can't understand why they don't want to talk or they don't want to have him released.
Yeah, so he is in conversation.
I thought he wouldn't meet him, or he wouldn't.
It's so they do communicate, but it's got to the point over the course of the 2 years. It's got to the point where the positions have become entrenched, and neither will move. But Dr. Highsmith also said that he gets the impression that that Dr. Trollope has been put upon by Alexander's brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the murders took place 2 years ago. It were both Alexander and Graham's father and their sister that was murdered. The father was exsanguinated, drained of all his blood. There was he had two major wounds, one in his neck. It's not a small wound either, quite a big wound, but he was drained of all his blood. Whereas his sister suffered a more brutal attack and was not left in the same condition. So the police believe there were 2 separate weapons used. Not separate weapons as in separate weapons on both the victims, but 2 separate weapons were used to inflict wounds on both victims. So 2 different knives.
A left-handed and a right-handed knife. Or,
something to that effect. So, as well as wanting Harry's or Dr. Bancroft's second opinion on Alexander's mental state, Dr. Highsmith has also wants you to try and speak to Graham Roby, Alexander's older brother, and also Dr. Trollope, to see if you can, being an independent third party, see if you can gain any more information. From Dr. Trollope, he wants you to try and find out if that is his true position on the matter, but and from Graham to try and learn a bit more about Alexander's background, because although Alexander's been in his care for 2 years, he knows very little about events prior to his committal, and the family is very. They're a well-to-do, sort of high-profile family, so they understandably.
Embarrassment, really.
Yeah. So understandably, even as Dr. Highsmith says, understandably, they are quite secretive. They're not bandying that information about.
Police were a bit rubbish, weren't they, as well, because they didn't solve the case. I mean, they didn't even fit Alexander up, which they usually do.
Yeah, which is a bit odd.
They're not doing the job, are they?
I mean, like, there you go, take me away.
So even the police left. The case is still open, although they've not made any. It's officially still open. Essentially, it's closed. There's no new evidence. Nothing to progress it. Essentially giving up on it. But yeah, they were of the even though Alexander initially confessed or claimed he was responsible for the murders, there was no evidence to support that. So they don't know why he claimed he was responsible. But yeah, it was clearly not. Yeah, he was clearly not the murderer.
And he keeps having highs and lows, and he has to be medicated, doesn't he?
Yes. So every
October or something.
So yeah, so these periods of insomnia and night terrors, as Dr. Highsmith has diagnosed, they occurred around October to around October, November.
I'll just go and I'll just give him some psychoanalysis. I'll sort him out. I'll just tell him to get a grip and be fine.
Snap out of it, you fool!
Pull himself together. Maybe go for a walk in the forest.
Yeah. And then go on.
That was it. I remember now.
It's all coming back.
It's all coming back. Alexander had said, "I'm the one responsible."
Yes,
not
he did.
I did it.
Yes, that was that was his words.
Because
yes.
he'd got some dodgy friends. That's what was in the police report, wasn't it?
So he'd been involved with something, and I don't know if somebody had come to get their money back or get revenge.
So he blames himself for what happened.
He'd upset the Albanians.
Oh, and then there's the doctor mentioned a nurse was caught with him.
Oh yeah.
Yes, in the asylum.
Was it a nurse or was it an orderly?
A nurse.
I didn't think they had male nurses.
Yeah.
So
there's at the
he'd been smuggling pencils in.
So giving him somebody had given him pencils, and on at least one occasion, one of the nurses was found in Alexander's room when there was no staff were scheduled to be in that part of the building.
Disgraceful, and he's still working there.
But he's still working there because Dr. Highsmith finds is one of his better staff members.
Right, he wants sacking and all that.
Yeah.
So that's something that we didn't ask at the time, but thinking about it, what's he doing with the pencils? Has he written anything anywhere? Has he drawn anything anywhere? Why pencils? So we need to talk to that nurse and also mention it to the doctor when we go down on the train. Was there any writing found? Has he got any writing materials? Has he got a diary? Because we want it. Or I want it. So we are waiting for a response. Dr. Highsmith was going to write a letter of introduction to Dr. Trollope, and we were waiting for that. And if we don't get one, we're just going to go in, smash his door down, and interrogate him.
Yeah, and then go and burn the house down.
Oh yeah, they don't live in that house anymore, and it's believed to be empty. So we're going to go and visit that and burn that down.
Somebody's criticising your note taking.
I'd actually missed the house off my notes.
So I think there are a couple of other things that that you've heard that you've not mentioned. So
make a note of them, because these are going to be plot crucial if he's reminding us.
I thought we covered everything.
The whole plot hinges on these two things. So some of the domestic staff reported hearing before the attacks. They had reported hearing a shrill whistle.
Oh, yes.
And then there was this massive crash, like a thud, which presumably was the attacker. And of course, Alexander was in his upstairs bedroom, and the bay windows to his room were smashed open, as was the bay windows into the I think it was a study, the downstairs room where the father was, where the father and sister were killed. Anyway, that they were just smashed up, ripped off the hinges.
And I think that's why the police were reckoning he hadn't done it, because the windows had been broken from the outside.
Yes, but also the coroner's reports concluded
somebody like big and hefty.
Yeah, really strong.
Yeah,
like a monster.
Some sort of...
A monster? That's utter nonsense.
Piffle.
What was this? You should be locking yourself up, Mr. Bancroft.
A really strong man.
A really strong man.
That
insane man.
That came in through the upstairs window.
With big knives.
An insane man on bath salts.
Like knives for hands.
Yeah.
Knives
Edward
for
hands. It's Johnny Depp.
That's got to be it.
So that was one thing I was saying, completely unrelated to what has happened. But I did say I was going to give a shout out to the guy who did all these maps and handouts, which is Love Maps. You can get all his stuff on drive-through, and they're excellent.
And I've joined his Patreon, and it's mega.
Yeah. So thank you for that. He's probably not listening, but
no,
nobody else is. So
There's that Chinese, that lone communist there in the.
Oh yeah, our bot.
Yeah, communist bot.
Link him into on Facebook.
Yes.
When we post the thing, and then say we.
Yeah.
But yes, regardless, I highly recommend. They're fantastic. It does. I think he's done map packs, but not just the maps. He does like replaces all the character tokens, redoes all the handouts, and even when the like stuff for masks, where the handouts are pretty decent anyway. He does it. He
I
knocks
was
him out of the park.
updating my PDFs drive-through. He did the PDF for the lightless beacon as well. It's his artwork for the floor pans for that.
Yeah. So yeah, highly recommended. Fantastic stuff. There was something else I was going to say, but like I say, I didn't think to write these things down or be organised or anything like that. So, yeah, without further ado, shall we continue? So, what was it? What was it you were planning to? I think you said you were going to.
We were going to wait for a response because
the house is like, was it like Shropshire or somewhere? The house, it was quite a way away.
No, it's in London.
Was it? Or
yes.
Was it or was the hospital?
The hospital is in Herefordshire, just
Herefordshire, Shropshire.
Yeah. Just a few miles from the Welsh border.
While we're waiting for a response from the doctor, we could go and visit the house.
Yeah.
But if we get caught in the house, that might be bad. Is the house? Can we find out if the house is empty? Is it for sale? Because if it's for sale or they're wanting to rent it out, we could go as
prospective buyers,
clients to buy it, and that would gain as entrance, and we can have a shifty around.
So I will.
We can do a slow drive. I mean, it's still snowy, isn't it? So
it is, yeah. So public transport, anyway. Yes. So yeah, this is a point we should make as well, if in case anybody's unaware of this. So the entire country's under being hit with extreme cold spell. There's like rivers. The River Thames is frozen solid. There's lakes frozen solid. The country's infrastructure has been brought to almost to a standstill. There's food shortages and all sorts of problems. It's hard to get about. One of the few things that's modes of transport in.
It's just like today, isn't it?
One of the few modes of transport in London that is reliable is the underground.
Oh, it's not like today. Should we do the right thing and let's just go and break in?
But as I say, I will let you make either of you or both of you. I will let you make a no roll.
Oh, go on then.
With regards to the Roby the old family residence of the Robys.
We don't know if they still own the property, do we?
No, it's education, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna have to adjust your camera again, Dave.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
Yeah, I keep moving around.
Yeah, just like bolt yourself into that spot, into that position. Oh wow, that's. Okay.
I think I'll know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So. It's just
clearly I
don't
have the connections.
So it's quite easy to find out where the Roby house was. I forget the name of the father. I think it was Herbert.
Oh, we'd have got that from the police file.
Yeah. So the house is on 4 Curzon Street in Mayfair. So it's a Georgian mansion that stands in a walled and gated garden. But it is no longer owned by the Roby family. It has been sold since the murders 2 years, which was 2 years ago. It has been sold off, and another family is living at that address.
That makes it a little bit more awkward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So which would suggest
somebody actually living there.
Yes. So there's a new family living there, which would suggest that anything that would to the prior owners will have been long cleared out.
Yeah, there's not going to be any evidence.
We could go in disguise. We could disguise ourselves as burglars.
I was thinking we could disguise ourselves as maybe some sort of large monster with swords for hands.
A repeat murder.
Yeah. Actually, hang on. Wait 4 days. because it's currently October the 27th. So if we give it 4 days, it's Halloween, and we can legitimately knock on the door dressed as a monster with swords for hands.
And then we get arrested by the police, and we get arrested for the first murder.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So essentially, what that role was is just to let you know that it's kind of a dead end now.
You're spoiling our fun, and you don't want us to go.
Look, by all means, go and break in.
If we got arrested for the first murder because we were dressed as a monster with swords for hands, we'd probably get put in some sort of psychiatric hospital for being mad, giving us a perfectly legitimate in to the hospital where Alex is.
Yeah, well, the chances of being sent to the same mental asylum.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Happens in films all the time.
I couldn't put a word in.
We'll probably even get
I'd
a
be
room
patient.
next to him.
So we're not doing any of that. So we're basically going to wait for that. Wait for a letter.
Doctor.
So Dr. Highsmith was going to write a couple of letters of introduction to both and send them to both Dr. Trollope and to Graham Roby.
So I'm just going to nip away. I will be back
actually,
as soon as possible.
It's probably a convenient time before we start breaking and entering and killing doctors.
Yeah, so before we commit any major crimes, we'll take an early break.
5 minutes. Magic. See you in 5.
I'll see you in 5. I've instantly forgotten what we were doing. Right.
Waiting for the doctor.
Waiting for the doctors to send his. So it was that the Bucket of Water song. Right. So yeah, it was today that you had the meeting with him as well, wasn't it? So that was just that concluded just a short while ago, or not too.
So are you saying that we should give him like a chance?
I'll give him until the afternoon. I'll give the Royal Mail until the afternoon to have delivered the letter of introduction. I mean, is he going to telegram him himself? Is he going to phone him? Then I could phone in the afternoon to arrange an appointment, or should we just go and cold call?
Well, so yeah.
So it said he was in London. He had other business as well. There was other business that brought him to London, but he said when this business had concluded today that he would write the letters, and he was intending to send them, but he wasn't totally against giving them to you to hand deliver them, but he was of the opinion that it was better form and better etiquette to send them via post, particularly since most of his communication has been currently done that way.
And that's why there's a lack of communication.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah. So yeah, they've got the
Royal Mail.
No. So, how long are we going to be waiting? A couple of days?
Well, it's probably no longer than that. I would have thought. Like I say, he's gonna write the letters up probably this evening. So send them. So yeah,
post them tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what would the normal form be for me? Wait for them to contact me, which they might not do, or should we just go and give it a reasonable amount of time, then go and visit?
Yeah, that would be a thing. Of
I'm
course,
not making an appointment to get fobbed off. They can shove it.
Yeah.
Of course, Dr. Highsmith is returning to St Agnes's in Herefordshire on the morning of the 30th, which he invited you to join him on when he makes that return journey. But he also, of course, gave you an open invitation if you weren't able to accompany him on his return.
Well, if we're not in jail, yeah, I think we go with him.
Yeah.
Take him up on
Gives
that
us like a few hours to chat to him and get all of the juicy gossip.
So let us say that later that evening, before it gets to an unreasonable time, so prior prior to 9 o'clock, but it would be bad etiquette to be disturbing somebody after that time. You get a call from the hotel via the hotel from Dr. Highsmith informing you that he has penned the letters of introduction and he can either forward them by post, by first post tomorrow morning, or if you so desire, he would not become totally adverse to hand delivering them. He is still of the opinion that is the.
Can't you just send him a text or email him?
What we could do, seeing as he posts them tomorrow, it's going to be the day after at least before your man gets them. If he gave them to us,
could we not? It seems to be. Sorry, go on.
Could we not deliver them ourselves? Put on our postman disguise, shove them through the door.
That's your disguise. You can be a postman, not private eye.
Yeah. Push them through the door tomorrow.
452.
I'm not relying on Royal Mail. It's like there's snowstorms, freak blizzards.
There is, although despite that, that letter from Dr. Highsmith only took. I think it got to you the day after he posted it.
Those were the days, you see.
He used like a bellboy or something to go and deliver it.
Every. They just tucked it in a hedge somewhere.
Right, let's go. Let's go.
So if I think we drop them off ourselves, we don't have to.
I think it's already been done, hasn't it?
No, it's for you to. It's for you to. So he contacts you by phone that evening. It's for you to make that decision.
All right.
So the next he could
I think we go and grab them.
Yeah. So you can either collect them from him.
Yeah.
So you can either collect them from him tomorrow morning, or he will put them in the first post tomorrow morning.
I'll sign another copy of my hand sign a copy of my book for this Dr. Highsmith. Butter him up.
You've already given him a signed copy.
Oh no, Highsmith, sorry.
Dr. Trollope.
Dear Dr. Trollope.
Dear Dr. Trollope.
It's an unfortunate surname.
Okay, so let's say that it's the next day. Oh, not that late. Let's put the time back in. Not 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So let's say by about 10:30 the next morning, you've paid Dr. Highsmith a brief visit at the Great Western Hotel, and he has handed over the sealed letters of introduction. One is addressed to Dr. Trollope. It has his home address on it, and one is addressed to Graham Roby, which also has his home address on.
Does he have? Can I take the name of the nurse?
Which nurse? Sorry?
The name of the nurse that's at the asylum that was caught in.
He didn't give you the name.
No, I'm asking him when we go and pick the letter up. I want the name of the nurse.
Right.
Because I'm going to drop that into conversation with this doctor to see if he knows that nurse, if he's been planted there.
Okay, so
and did he, as Alexander, is he not allowed to have pens and pencils?
No, so they don't allow him to have any. It's so Alexander. It says that Alexander isn't.
Might he put them up his nose or in his ear?
Yeah, so Alexander's not a high. It doesn't consider him a high risk patient, but it is standard procedure that.
Can't he have crayons? Might he eat those?
Well, yeah, anything that could potentially do somebody damage.
So does he know? Did he do anything with the pencils? Did he draw anything? Has he written anything?
So that's a good question.
Has he been drawing on the walls, or has somebody been smuggling paper in as well?
Why? So he must have either asked for pencils, or was the nurse wanting him to write down something?
Like his PIN number and...
Yeah.
I
Mother's maiden
believe they were the pencils were discovered before he was able to do anything with them.
And what did the nurse say? Had he asked for them? Alexander asked for them?
Let's see.
And maybe we could smuggle some pencils in for him.
Well, we're gonna go and see him, aren't we? He's gonna be drawing for me and writing for me.
Yeah.
I need to fully assess him. But if he stabs himself with a pencil, it's your fault.
Crayons might be safer.
Crayons might be a safer bet. Trying to stab himself with a crayon, it's not going to work, is it?
Yeah. So the nurse in question was Nurse Evans.
Oh, he's guilty.
Yeah.
He's going in my black book.
Where's his first name? Mark Evans.
So that's the main thing. I just want his name. I just want to know if there's any connection between him and the family and the doctor. It's very odd. Yeah, so we'll take the handwritten letters of introduction and make our way to the doctors.
Yeah.
Probably have a snowball fight on the way.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you put a bit of coal inside.
There's plenty of ice. That should suffice. So yeah, what time? There like after lunch, maybe.
So
before lunch.
I will just amend something I said about regards the pencils. So it was he had scribbled in the margins of a book of some books from the library. The books from the library weren't anything special, but he'd been scribbling notes in the margins because he didn't have for paper, because he didn't have paper. So he'd been making some scribbled notes in the margins of some books he'd got from the library, the hospital library.
And what's happened to those books? Have they been thrown away, or are they just been put back in the library?
The doctors will say, I would imagine they will have been put back in the library.
Did you read the scribbles? Were they eligible?
So
I mean, if you can get those books.
They appeared to be appeared to be like fragments of dreams.
All right.
That's perfect for you, though, surely. Writing his dreams down. Can't ask for more than that, really.
Need to get all of those books and sit down with a cup of coffee and go through them.
So Dr. Tyson, well, like as is said several times already, he's happy for you to conduct your investigation however you see fit, so long as the privacy and the reputation of the institution is not brought into question.
Oh no, I'll leave that to you.
I'll say that's my job, I believe.
But, yeah. So anyway, so after this brief exchange, he hands you the letters and excuses himself again because, as as he's already mentioned, he has got other business that has brought him to London, and he's keen
Let's follow him.
to make the best of his time before he has to return to St Agnes's.
Let's follow him instead. See what he's up to. It's probably like seeing a mistress or something. He should be doing this. Right, let's go then. Let's go to the doctors.
Yeah.
So, are you a private eye working for me, or do you want to be a doctor? Are you just my friend?
I think investigating is probably. I'll not be able to pass myself off as a doctor because I know diddly.
How about an inquiry agent that's also in the employ? Oh, we can't really say you're in employ of Dr. Highsmith because it would have been in the introduction, wouldn't it? Just say I've employed you. You work for me.
Yeah.
You've worked for me before.
I'm helping you with this.
With my day job. So you're helping me on this inquiry with your investigative skills.
Yeah, definitely that.
So we're there. What's happening?
So arriving at Dr. Trollope's home, which is located, which is an apartment.
We're not going to it. I thought we were going to his actual.
You can go to his practice if you wish.
His practice.
Yep.
Well, he's not going to be at home during daytime, is he?
Possibly not.
No, let's go to his practice.
Okay. So his practice, his offices are at Bedford Place in Bloomsbury, which is just a short walk away from where his home is located on Long Acre.
Well, that's ideal. We'll go and talk to him. If you don't want to see us, we'll then go to his home and break in.
Yeah. I do actually have a reasonable knowledge of psychology, by the way.
Excellent.
So do I. Psychoanalysis is absolute bobbins.
I've got that. That's my job.
But that's your job. But psychology, I can do a bit.
Okay, so
I dabble.
Need to. Have you got any intimidation or charm for the receptionist we're going to meet? Charmer.
My charming isn't great. I can do card tricks though.
Nope, I can't charm either. We're going to have to go.
I can do card tricks.
We've got the letter of introduction. That's all we need.
Yeah.
So
I could fix the computer for her.
So on arrival at Dr. Trollope's office at Bedford Place, you find the office locked and closed.
What?
Oh, because of the bad weather. You didn't think of that, did you?
Bobbins.
Damn.
Can I try and charm the door? Actually, I've got fast talk.
I presume there's not a lot of people about, is there? Because of the
weather. The streets aren't particularly busy. No, this building where his office, where he has his offices, it's quite busy in here. This is probably the only office that's actually closed.
So how would
and there's kind of a reception. What passes for a reception area down in the entrance to the building.
Is it like is it a terrace building with offices? Is there?
Yeah, it's kind of a large building that's that like houses several offices.
I'm just thinking if we fought break-in, there's a possibility of us being seen during the day if there's other officers nearby. I don't want to go fob us off at his residence, because then if we come back to try and break in here, it's just going to be blatant, isn't it? But if we break in advance, we might access some files, and we don't need to go and see him. No, let's go and see.
But there's loads of people around to catch us.
We'd have to kill them all, so no, let's not do that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to his house. If he's not there, we'll come back and
break in. Yeah.
wipe them out.
Yeah.
All of them.
At night time.
Okay.
At night
So
time.
When they're not there.
With knives for
let me
hands.
get rid of that. I've got be right back still on the screen.
Like pick the locks.
So
you could throw me through the window.
The upstairs window catapult.
Yeah.
Right, serious now. This
Wile E.
is horror.
Coyote. Right, yeah. So you take the short walk from his offices back to his house, or back to the building where he has an apartment. So you easily get access to the actual part, the actual building, and knocking on his door, the door to his rooms. The door is answered by a elderly lady, who you assume is some kind of housekeeper. Says, yes, can I help you?
Dr. Trollope, I presume.
Oh no! I'm Mrs. Hughes, his housekeeper. I'm afraid Dr. Trollope is away.
Oh, is he at work?
No. He's away at a conference in Brighton.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
He should be
travelled
back.
all this way to see him.
He should be back in about 3 or 4 days.
And is that after the time that would be going on the train?
Yes.
Yeah, 30th is.
That just won't do.
Would you like to leave a message for Dr. Trollope?
Well, we'd come to have a look at some paperwork that the doctor's got. I'll give her the letter of introduction. Or should I? No, because if we're trying to look at the paperwork, you don't want to say who we are. That's not going to work, Jonathan.
We could just.
So she goes to take the letter from you then.
Could just rush her. We are cultists, after all.
I could hit her over the head with my strength of 30.
She'd probably kill us both.
She'd probably beat me up.
Oh dear. Right. So yeah, well.
So she takes the letter and says, "I'll be sure Dr. Trollope gets it."
No.
Sure
maybe we ought to go and see him at the conference.
Yeah. Could we have the what is the conference? What does it concern? What's the conference for?
It's I don't know. It's some medical conference, I believe.
Ah, he's a doctor.
Ching.
So it's this is going to sound suspicious, isn't it? Is it just you then, looking after that?
Wow.
Foot in door.
Would you like to drink this milky drink?
And she's
Slide
not
the long
opened
knife
letter
from
yet.
your coat.
No, take the letter off her. I'll be taking that.
Maybe we should take. I'll say to you. Maybe we should actually go to the conference anyway, like we discussed, and we'll take that with us.
I'll take the letter back. We really need to. It needs to be hand delivered, and
it's quite urgent.
We need to see him as soon as possible. So we're going to make our way to see him. So I'll snatch the letter back out.
Lovely meeting you, though, my dear.
We haven't said our names either.
Well, really, and she closes the door.
Yeah.
Maybe we could meet up for a drink later.
So we can come back and break in if we need to. Oh gosh. Right. So Right.
Is this
That's
your
plan
usual the usual approach to to your patients?
We're not going to
break
was it
into
Brighton?
the houses.
Did you say it was Brighton? Where we've
Brighton,
gone?
yeah.
Oh God, I'm not going there.
Which, to be fair, is only like, is it 28 miles? But it is very snowy.
It's not that far, is it?
No.
We'd
But
have
it
to knock
is.
on door again and ask where in Brighton. And probably give her the letter of introduction because she's not just going to give out the location of it, is it?
No, it'll be a public conference.
Just go around all the halls looking for a random.
It'll be at like the Royal Brighton Hotel, or
Shall we risk it? Something to do with it. We've got time to kill.
yeah.
Or
Are the trains running?
They are, but not very. They're not very reliable at all. There's lots of cancellations. Lines are down. The limited services at best.
we could walk it. It's only 28 miles.
Ski it.
Get some snowshoes. We'll be fine.
I've got a navigate of 10. That's all I'm saying. End up in Aberystwyth.
End up in them tunnels again.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that. That never happened. I don't know. We can't go around breaking into people's property.
I assume that's not how you usually conduct your business.
We would need a proper inquiry agent for that to be a thing. I mean, Charles might be willing for a bit of cash.
Maybe. Could we phone him, do you think?
Oh, the phone! Never even thought about that. Yeah, we could. So
I mean, we won't be able to show him our letters, but he could always phone. What's his Dr. Highsmith?
So we ask the housekeeper, give her the letter of introduction, and then.
So she's already closed the door, by the way.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to knock on the door. Well, I'm not having this. We're not talking about breaking in and stuff in front of her, are we?
No. I presume not. No.
No, we'll do that round the corner.
We stood in the hallway shouting. She's probably listening at the door and heard everywhere.
On the police.
So yeah, if we do that there, there's no reason for him not to know who we are. It's just if we're going to try and make entry into his business property to get like files. He's going to know it's us, isn't he? It's just blatant that we're snooping around.
Do we break into his office? But
would we do that? I mean, your character might. What reason would I wouldn't do it? I mean, I want to.
Yeah, if you were found out, that'd be your reputation.
That'd be me done.
To be fair, I wouldn't do it. I've got people that would do it. Yeah, I know a few shady individuals that procure some of the rarer items for me.
I've got my credit rating to think about and my next book. I don't want to write it from prison. So, what do you think?
And we don't really want to antagonise the guy, do we?
There's still always Alexander's brother as well.
Yeah.
Was the letter of introduction to both?
Yes. Not the same one. There was two separate letters.
Should we go see the brother?
Yeah, go and see the brother, I guess.
Yep. Next port of call, then the brother, and that he is London-based, isn't he?
Yes. Yes, he is.
The doctor's. He's only doing what he's been paid to do, isn't he? So maybe the doctor's not the person to.
Yeah.
Need to know why the brother wants to keep him in an asylum. Has he done well apart from murdering his apart from originally being arrested for murdering his father and sister, has he done something to him?
Well, he wasn't arrested. He was taken into as such. He was taken into custody because he.
But they couldn't charge him. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
They were never officially arrested.
So maybe the brother might actually think he's guilty. That's why he wants to keep him in this arm.
Either that. Oh no, it's the elder brother, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's not a.
It's not an inheritance. It's not that. That's what I thought at first.
It's more a out of sight, out of mind.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's go and kick the brother's door down.
Maybe he didn't. He wasn't keen on his brother's friends, so he does blame his brother. But
yeah.
Yeah, so brother.
At which point he might know, who his brother's friends were.
If he'll see us, that is.
Well, so the letter is addressed, obviously, to Graham Roby, at 17 Hill Street, Belgravia, London, obviously.
All right.
It's all very posh, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
well,
taxi.
Right, yeah. So it probably takes a while to get there, longer than it normally would to get there. So let's say it is probably coming on to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can make a credit rating roll if you want on your way there. See if you can see if there's anything you know about him. Yes. So Harry.
He's rich.
Yeah. He's rich. The family's rich. His father, Herbert Roby, used to work for the government. But Graham is a prominent merchant banker, quite high up. He works at Cots & Co. On the Strand, which the Cots & Co. is quite famous because the royal family have banked with them for over 2 centuries.
Okay.
So yeah, the house is, with that in mind, the house is as opulent and exclusive as you would expect. Knocking on the... Sorry?
Do I know if he's married?
That's kind of like...
Does he have children? How many?
I don't think I wouldn't say that you know that offhand. You can maybe find out, talking to the right people, but you don't.
I'll ask him when we go and see him.
Okay. Right. Anyway, so, knocking on the door. The door is eventually opened by a butler, by Mr. Roby's butler.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I introduce us. I can't remember Gerald's surname. Gerald Black. This is my employee, Gerald Black, and I am Dr. Bancroft, and I will hand him the letter of introduction. I'm here to see your master.
Is Mr. Roby expecting you, sir?
No, he is not, but this letter of introduction will suffice.
Very well, sir. If you'd just step inside and wait in the foyer, sir. I shall hand the letter to Master Roby and return with his reply.
Very good, very good.
Might I get you a small drink or something, sir?
Maybe.
Something to get rid of the cold, maybe.
Something
Yes.
Maybe
something, sir.
Maybe an eye.
A what, sir?
Whiskey, man, whiskey.
I'll have the same. Just some random people coming in for a whiskey.
He raised his eyebrows and was, very well, sir. If you just wait here in the foyer. And he walks stiffly away. A few moments later, a maid comes with a tray and some drinks.
Thank you.
Not getting the good stuff out today, then.
Well, I wouldn't think so, sir. I wouldn't think so.
Cheeky bastard.
She look,
Popping us off with like
she blushes.
As does Special Blend.
Says, I don't think the sir would take kindly to that kind of language in his house.
I'll
she
behave.
Drink my whiskey.
She puts the tray down and hustles off.
Don't touch any ornaments.
Don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything. Yeah.
I'll have a look at the ornaments.
Okay, so yeah, everything is really It's
Is there a suit of armor?
A suit of armor? No, it's not. It's not really old-fashioned like that. It's all very very modern, very expensive. Like sort of current paintings and objet d'art and all this.
Is there anything to suggest a woman's touch?
Woman's touch
Suggest he's married.
So
or any
you
wife
can
and kids.
So there's family pictures. There's family pictures around.
I should be a gangster or a criminal. Have they got a family pet?
So yeah, there's pictures of.
I'll just start knocking things off and go, oh, oops.
Not yet.
So yeah,
we need to do that in front of him, don't we?
From the pictures, the photographs that are around, he's married with two children, two young girls.
Do I know roughly how old he is?
How old Roby is?
50, 40?
Middle age, I would say, would be reasonable. You don't know for certain a definite age, but yeah, you would get middle age is a reasonable assumption.
Well, how old's Alexander? Like late 20s, early 30s. So he's a bit older into the. Imagine he's a bit younger. The other one, with him having friends and not being married or anything.
So maybe about half an hour passes, and
it doesn't take that long to read a letter.
Making you wait.
It's just
What's he doing?
And the butler returns. Says, Mr. Roby will see you briefly to ascertain your business. If you'd care to follow me through to the drawing room.
Very good.
And he'll lead you through to a drawing room, surprisingly, where a striking figure is standing, as tall, bearded, with quite severe patrician, that's the how you pronounce it, air about him. He looks well, you've never seen Alexander, so I can't tell you. He looks nothing like his brother. But he's impeccably dressed. He's like the starched collar, the lot. Let's see, we've got a picture of him, I believe, somewhere.
Does he look like a cult?
Top of the morning to you, sir.
Does he look like a cult leader?
Cult leader. There we go.
Not that I know of cults or what a leader would look like.
There we go.
Ooh, scary.
Oh, he's got a dodgy eye.
He is definitely up to no good.
The victim of AI art.
His ears are a bit odd, aren't they? One is, oh yeah. It's got like, it's made up of different people's faces. Literally.
Yeah. The homunculus.
So,
Rufus Sewell about him.
Right, so when you, as soon as you walk in through, he says, I've already told Dr. Highsmith, that I do not wish to communicate. If you wish to communicate with me, you must communicate through Dr. Trollope.
We tried to communicate with Dr. Trollope, but Dr. Trollope's not currently in the city, and I have an appointment in the next couple of days, so I really needed to see you. I know you don't wish your brother to be released into society. I am being employed to give a second opinion on your brother's mental faculties, his condition. So, if you don't want him, to be released, I need to know why you don't wish him to be released.
I'm sorry. You mean Dr. Highsmith intends him to be released?
He's assessing him, and he's due up for. He's due up for.
Well, it's preposterous. I was assured that Alexander's commitment was to be permanent.
Well, I am a criminal psychologist, an alienist, so I will be able to assess him, which I'm going to do in the next few days. But I need to know the whole story, because the police say he had no involvement in the murder of your father and your sister.
Poppycock. The police may have found no evidence, but I'm convinced that Alexander is responsible for the death of my father and sister.
Well, I do side with that point of view, that it's not cut and dry that he's innocent, and
why would he confess to it if he was?
Yeah, there is something going on, and I don't think the police have done a thorough enough job. But so I really want to know your side of it. Why? What makes you feel 100% that your brother is responsible for the murder when there's no actual evidence of his taking part?
If you want to know the details of the case, then you should speak to Inspector Stevens of Scotland Yard. He investigated the murders.
Is that that we didn't speak to the inspector, did we?
You spoke to his deputy.
We spoke to
his junior officer.
We've seen all the we saw the paperwork for the case. It's still an open case. I do have a query. Something about your brother's friends being a little bit untoward, and I can't understand why that hasn't been followed up by the police if the case is still open. Do you know who his friends were?
There's hung about with these weird types, ne'er do wells as far as I was concerned. It's he used to knock around with Delia Hartson. I'm sure she was up in the thick of it. Always shared Alexandra's weird interest in the occult, attending all these lectures and seminars and God knows what else.
What was the name? Delia
Hartson.
Hartson. And is she? Does she reside in London, or is she? Do you know the location where she lives?
I do not.
What is her profession? I'd really like to be able to interview her.
Gold digger, I imagine.
Gold digger. Oh, I know. I mean, what is her actual? Does she have a job?
I have no idea.
Maybe an occultist. You said she had an interest. This
horrible interests they had.
See, that makes me think, because of how the murders were performed, especially the sanguination of your father, that strikes me as maybe an occult.
Definitely a ritualistic aspect.
Yeah, ritualistic way of taking somebody's life. So maybe that would suggest to me that your brother may be involved, or your brother's friends were involved in the murder of your father. So I come
without the knowledge of your brother.
I come as a kind of a neutral person in this. I just want to get to the bottom of it.
See, unfortunately, British law doesn't allow for permanently placing somebody in a psychiatric institution. Reviews need to be made.
I can assure you, I have a friend in the Lord Chancellor's department, and if needs be, then I shall
change the law, sir.
No such thing. I will have somebody make a recommendation on my behalf.
Well, sir, as I say, I am going to give my assessment. So, if I can help in any way, but I would need you to be as open and helpful as possible. My colleague, Mr. Black here is a private investigator, which I've used on many occasions. So we really do want to get to the bottom of this. And if your brother is at fault, he should stay in the asylum forever. If he is mentally incapable and insane, that is where he will stay. But
and obviously, if his friends were involved in it,
they
also need to be brought to justice.
So, what is it you want from me, Dr. Bancroft?
I want to know. You said he had interest in the occult. Did he meet with these other people? Was there a meeting place?
So they had numerous friends that he used to meet with, associates, if you like, as to who they are and where they carried out these.
You don't know if there was like a club or a society where maybe somewhere where they met?
I took no interest in it, Dr. Bancroft. I tried to ignore it was even happening. As I say, if you want to speak, if you want to find out about these people, I would suggest you speak to that.
I'll be able to find
that woman, Delia Hartson.
As a matter of interest, obviously you moved house, but what happened to your younger brother's possessions?
They were destroyed. I had everything, all his belongings destroyed.
That is a shame.
Were there any? Did he have a journal or any books?
I don't know. There was lots of these occult books and all nonsense, and his books of poems that he used to write and dream journal. Everything went into the incinerator.
Have you kept nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Alexander is dead to me.
Some of those things are quite valuable as well.
Did your father or your sister share any of your brother's interest?
Not at all.
Not at all.
What are you trying to insinuate, Doctor?
No, I just wondered if he may have picked it up from.
No,
from somewhere else.
I'm afraid my father did his best for Alexander, but he was a failure in all respects, all respects of his life.
So, Mr. Black, is there anything else you would like to ask?
It's a shame we don't have any of his diaries or anything. I think we do need to find this Miss Hartson, probably quite urgently.
She's the source of the trouble. I've no doubt about it.
Would you say they were romantically involved, or was it just a friendship?
Possibly.
And you've no idea of her occupation?
No, I do not.
See,
how old was she? Was she a similar sort of age to your brother?
I would say so, yes.
Just anything that could help me track her down.
Did the police not take up this line of inquiry? I just find it mind-boggling that they just don't seem to have done a full job.
They were of the opinion they had no real bearing on the matter.
Does she come from? Is she from? Is she of good standing class?
In my book, no, of course not.
No.
But as I say, I know I've only had the displeasure of meeting her once or twice, and meeting is probably stretching the word. It's, I have nothing to do with her. I know her name. I know her sick interests, and that she's no doubt responsible for the downfall of my brother, and in my mind probably somehow caught up in the death of my sister and my father.
Did she have any connection to your sister?
No.
No. How about your good wife? Did she meet with her at all?
No.
No.
They would not have that woman anywhere near my house. You seem to be under the impression that we lived, that we resided at the at my father's house.
That.
Not since I was a boy. Not since I was a boy.
I see. So it was your brother, your sister, and your father at the property, and then I understand.
Okay. Yes, I think we need to find Miss Delia Hartson.
I'll give him
next.
I'll give him a business card if there's anything he needs to, anything he can think of that he could tell me
that
later
might help
on,
us.
Or if he needs
bring
to contact
the
me.
perpetrators to justice. Anything else you think the police may have ignored or missed?
I'll give him a signed copy of my book as well.
You've got a suitcase full of them.
Yeah.
And if there's anything at all that belonged to your brother that you realise you may still have, that could also.
I can assure you, without a shadow of a doubt, there's nothing that ever belonged to my brother remains. I made sure of cleansing our family of his taint.
Would you happen to know the whereabouts of any of the staff that worked at your father's house?
The cook still is employed here.
Aha.
Would it be possible to talk to her?
I presume. Yes, I suppose so. He takes the looks at your business card and tucks it into his wallet and then puts that inside his coat. I'll call. I'll have the butler sort that out. I'm afraid I must. You must excuse me. I have some business matters to attend to.
Thank you for your time.
Most helpful.
I shall be sure to contact you if something comes to light that will aid in our cause of ensuring my brother's detainment.
Yep, we'll keep you up to speed with the investigation, and I'll no doubt give you my full assessment of your brother's condition.
Right. So he thanks you and wishes you both a good day. Shortly, almost immediately after, the butler returns to the room. He says, if you come this way, sir, I'll take you downstairs to the kitchens.
Marvellous.
Mm-hmm. Never thought about that before, asking about staff. Because
they're just so unimportant, aren't they?
Well, no, they heard the. It was those that reported the shrill whistle, didn't
they? Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it might have been her that heard the whistle. Or she might, if she's young and beautiful, she might have had a thing with Alexander. He might have wrote a poetry. Or maybe not.
Okay, so the butler takes you downstairs to the kitchens and says, Mrs. Vetch, these gentlemen are here to talk to you. They're here to ask you some questions.
And what does she look like? Is she? I now imagine her as being like 50 or 60 and quite
Yeah, she's
rotund.
so she's a cliched cook. Yeah, she's kind of
Maybe
like
maybe he didn't have an affair with her.
50s, 60s, kind of frumpy, rosy cheeked.
Lovely. I'll let you take lead since you're an investigator, a private eye, an inquiry agent, should I say? Sorry, British.
Right. So the butler informs Mrs. Vetch that that you're here on with Master Roby's blessing,
You are.
and with that he departs.
Good afternoon, my dear. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day to talk to us. It really is much appreciated.
That's all right, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
We're just trying to follow up on the most distressing matter of is your master's father. I believe you were working for his father at the time of his passing.
Oh, it's a horrible business it was, sir.
Indeed,
Terrible.
indeed. Well, your master and we believe that many stones were indeed left unturned in the investigation, and we're trying to get to the bottom of the matter. And we wondered if you could help us with any recollections you might have.
Well, I try and help if I can, sir.
The police records are unbelievably sparse.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know about that, sir.
Would you be able to take us through, in your own words, what you remember of that night?
Oh, well, it's been 2 years now, but there's
I'm sure a lady
still...
of your intelligence and thoughtfulness will be able to recall.
Well, something like that burns itself into your memory, don't it?
Indeed, it does.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what it is. I can tell you though. I mean, we don't know no idea how they got it in. Well, all the doors and the windows were all locked from the inside. The housekeeper was sure of that.
Well,
and Mr. Roby, Herbert Roby, he was very particular about having everything locked up tight. Very concerned about burglaries.
I imagine so. I'm sure none of the staff were to blame at all. Were the doors not broken in, rather than left unlocked?
I believe so. I believe so. I believe so. That's what I heard. Yes. So, but me and the other staff, we were downstairs, downstairs in the parlour when we heard the disturbance. That must have been the killer. I dread to think about it.
What can you tell us about? There was just a reference to some sort of whistling before the disturbance. Could you tell us about that?
I'm afraid not. So that you need to speak to Mr. Lowell or Miss West.
Are they still? Who do they work for now?
Oh, I'm afraid Mr. Roby didn't see fit to employ those. I do know who where they're working though, where the house they work at now.
That would be fantastic if you could help us with that.
Mr. Lowell, was he the butler?
He was the butler, yes, and Miss West was the maid.
Maid.
Where are they now?
So she tells you, she gives you the address of the house that they're working at now.
Awesome stuff.
Do you happen to remember meeting or having anything to do with
Adelia Hartson,
Alexander's lady friend?
Well, I wouldn't wouldn't know any more than that. She was seemed to be like say a lady friend of Mr. Alexander.
Did she come to the house often?
Yes, but she didn't stay long.
Did he
She
have
wasn't
any
really
other?
She wasn't really welcome. Mr. Graham wasn't very keen, and neither was their father.
The reason being?
I don't know, sir.
Did he have any other regular visitors?
No, not that I'm aware, sir.
No male friends, no male visitors.
Not that I'm aware, sir. No.
The lady Delia, did she only come on her own? She never came with any male friends?
No, always on her own. I only came on to the house on a couple of occasions, I believe, sir.
And just sorry, Gerald. Did talking to your current master? He said all his brother's possessions were destroyed. Do you know if that's true?
Oh yes, sir. It was very strict about that. We searched the house from top to bottom, took the place apart almost, make sure everything that belonged to Alexander, Mr. Alexander, was rounded up, collected up, and burnt. Even his clothes.
Did he ever show you his poetry?
Oh no, sir. No, Mr. Alexander was a very private person.
Okay.
And they didn't really speak to us downstairs folk. Anyway.
I think if we can talk to the butler and the maid, who actually may have heard or seen more on that evening.
Oh, I've solved it. Butler did it. It's obvious. Well, you've been most helpful. I'd like to give you something. I'll give her a copy of my signed book, which she'll throw away.
Right, she
might be useful for stopping a table wobbling.
Yeah. She has a spillage. She could rip some of the pages out and mop it up.
Right, she looks at it, looks a bit puzzled and smiles and says, "I don't read too well, Mr.
I was
sir,
joking.
But,
that's
fine.
I brought a book for a cook.
He doesn't write too well either.
She wouldn't understand. Maybe I've got one of my trashy pulp novels. She'd probably read that, but not me psychology papers or whatever.
Okay.
Can I make a psychology roll for the brother, which I forgot to do? Can I go back in time and roll one?
To what end?
Or do I just presume he's telling the truth? He seemed, after we got him to talk, he seemed. Do I think he's holding anything back?
The thing is, he was obviously very passionate about it all, but
should have asked for a persuasion.
You can have a psychology roll. Yeah, that's not unreasonable to ask for us.
I am slightly concerned by the lengths he's gone to destroy absolutely everything.
Yeah, he's adamant it's his brother's fault.
A bit suspect. Yeah.
So yeah, he kept referring to his brother in a past tense as well.
Like he's dead to him. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as far as you're concerned, as far as you can tell, he was not. It wasn't really. It was being genuine as far as you can tell.
So we don't need to.
As you would expect, and as Dr. Highsmith has already said, he's probably not, airing all the family secrets, all the dirty laundry. But yeah, from what he's told you, he seems to be, or at least genuinely believe what he's told you anyway.
That's good. So the family pet is safer now, and so are the children. It's good. It's good. But we've got them if we need them. We can come back for them.
Yeah. So
let's go and find a butler and a maid. How would we track this woman? Can you track somebody from a name in 19? If she's upper class, maybe. Are there telephone directories in 1928? There will be, won't they?
No, they don't have directories in like phone boxes. Well, there's no like real public phone boxes either.
No. So how would you find? Oh, you'd phone.
You'd phone an operator. You'd need a number.
Phone operator. Oh, you would need the number.
Yeah. You couldn't get.
So
they won't.
What you need.
When they go through like a big book with thousands of names in and find them.
What you need is some sort of private investigator.
Yeah, if only they had one. Instead of somebody that owns a bookshop. This can be a sideline. This is where he's going to start earning some money.
It's got to pay better than.
You can do both.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've read books on being an inquiry agent. You must have read Sherlock Holmes. You know it all. That's all you need to know. So, what do you reckon first? Look for her, or go and talk to the butler and the maid?
I think the butler and the maid's the easy one.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe.
I mean, they might even know where she is from or where she is. The butler, maybe.
That's a possibility.
We've got to ask them to repeat what the whistle sounded like. So Phil has to do it.
Weep, weep.
A shrill whistle. So we'll take our leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've written some more names down. I can't read, so that's good.
Mr. Lowell, Miss West.
That's it. That's what my writing says. Yep, I can see that. So we've got the addresses where they're working, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go.
So it's
terrorize them.
It's getting late in the afternoon. You could head over there, but it's you're approaching a kind of time of day where it's.
The most staff in these, they'll be like living staff, won't they? If they're posh.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and isn't there like in like big proper houses, there's like a workman's entrance, isn't there? A trade entrance. So you don't need to go knocking at the front door. You just go down to trade entrance.
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
They'll be around. They'll only get half a day off.
Yeah, well, we'll try it. It's something to do into.
Yeah. While we figure out who we know that might be able to track down this lass.
Well,
I must know some heavies. I keep saying I know, like,
I think
people that can get things done.
There must be a way of finding somebody. How do you? She's an occultist. Maybe she might have written a book.
Do I recognise the name at all? Can I have an occult role?
You could, I suppose.
Could we visit people in the know in the occult? Maybe she's known in the occult circles.
So
maybe
no,
she's
never
a member of a club or a society.
Okay. We could ask the people that were dicking around with that play.
Oh, if they recognise the name.
If they recognise the name. And that might.
Well, at the moment there's no connection whatsoever, is there, with the play? This is like totally.
Oh
separate.
no, it's just I'm thinking of like vaguely occulty people.
Oh. Yeah. The only connection is that at the start, a lot of people are going a bit crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
But this predates that because it's from 2 years ago, which is a bit odd.
Yeah. No, I was only thinking because they like vaguely occulty sort of people, You
need to go on Google and find out how you would find somebody from a name in 1928.
I think we need private investigator.
Well, I'll hire one. Right, so yeah, let's go and terrorize some staff.
Okay.
Are they at separate places?
No, both work at the same.
All right, that's good. Let's go. Let's do it.
Convenient.
Okay, so you've arriving at the address. It's getting late. It's getting towards early evening now.
Oh, time for tea. They might be able to. Give
maybe. Yeah, like a cup of tea, bacon sandwich.
Yeah.
And while it's still kind of a nice area, it's more of a middle class area than like this upper middle class, upper class area where Graham Roby lives. So what you're doing? You're approaching the sort of tradesman.
Tradesman, yeah.
If there is one.
Well, there probably will be. Why not? So. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So the door's answered by what is obviously another butler, although he's well attired, but not as well dressed as Graham Roby's butler.
Mr. Lowell.
Right, it looks. He sort of frowns. Says, "Yes, sir. Do I know you?"
No. But good to meet you. My name is Gerald Black. And we have been tasked with the rather upsetting task of looking into the death of your previous master. The police were very lackluster in their investigations, and we're helping Mr. Roby try and get to the bottom of it. And we were wondering if it'd be okay if we could ask you just a few questions about your recollection of that unfortunate evening.
You can make a persuade roll.
I probably can't.
Can I?
Can I have a fast talk instead? We have some letters of introduction that were actually prepared for
somebody else,
Mr. Roby, but
we can show that we're talking to his brother.
Yeah, you haven't got the letter anymore.
We got two. We got one to the.
You got the one that's addressed to the doctor,
yeah.
And the one. Yeah, well, that's the only one you've got because the Graham Roby's got the other one now. That was addressed to him.
Yeah. But they all look very official. But yeah, can I try fast talking rather than persuade?
So
I've got 60% persuade, but I haven't spoken, so that's not going to
So
work.
how would you want to phrase it to lean it towards fast talk then?
I'll just keep talking.
Show him quickly.
I'll show him the letters.
Investigator's badge.
I'll show him the letters from
inquiry agent.
This is we have some letters from Alexander Roby's doctor, because I don't know if you're aware that they were planning on releasing him quite shortly, unless there's good reason shown why he shouldn't be released back into society. Now, obviously, if he had anything to do with the elder Mr. Roby's death, let alone the death of Miss Roby, then that really can't be allowed. So we really need to get to the bottom of this and see if we can get to the facts. And obviously, we don't want to deprive an innocent man of his freedom either.
You can make a fast talk roll then.
Watch me get like 99 on it anyway.
Oh no! Well,
25.
Says, well, I'd be keen to help Mr. Alexander. He was taken away by the police, but he didn't do the murders. I believe he went away for a rescue after that.
Yes, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Why do you think he confessed to them though?
Now that I don't know, sir. That I don't know.
Or at least the police have it on record that he said he was responsible.
Well, I didn't speak to. I didn't. I wasn't aware of that, sir. I spoke to the police, but the police just asked me, asked me questions. They didn't tell me anything like that, anything about that, sir.
So we're wondering if he felt responsible, even though he didn't commit the deeds himself. Whether it was any of his erstwhile friends, possibly, or
I don't know anything about that.
Dealings with.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about that, sir. All I can tell you is that I found Mr. Alexander to be a likable, if unusual young man.
Did you have any dealings with any of his friends, especially Miss Hartson?
Well, I answered. I met, if you could call. I mean, I was Mr. Herbert Roby's butler, so I did answer the door when the young lady called on Alexander. But,
I don't suppose you'd
but that was the extent of my interaction, I'm afraid.
So you won't know any way of tracking her down. You seem to be having trouble.
I haven't
finding the young lady.
I haven't seen her for over 2 years. Obviously.
Good. What does she look like? Was she young? Is she attractive?
Young, quite pretty. I would say. Is blonde. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I don't know how much help that is.
Did you ever meet? Did she ever visit the house with any friends? Was it just herself?
No, it's always herself, and like I say, only on a few occasions.
Do you? We were told all of Alexander's property was destroyed. Do you know if that's true? Yeah. Could we also speak to
Miss West?
Miss West, yes.
I'm afraid Miss West is away seeing her mother at the moment. She's rather ill.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Did you hear on the evening in question? Did you hear what has been described in the records, which sparse as they may be, a strange whistling noise?
That I did, sir. Yes, myself and Miss West, we both heard it. A weird, shrill kind of whistle. It seemed to come from within the house. Perhaps 5 minutes or so before we heard the disturbance.
Could you kind of
replicate it?
Yeah, replicate it. Show us what it kind of sounded like, just to give us an idea.
I'll have to see if there's a description.
And you got a whistle. Let's get a whistle. Do you think it was?
Would it have been young Alexander whistling, perhaps?
Do you think like a musical instrument whistle?
Well, sir, it's he tries to imitate this whistle, but he's obviously not very good at whistling. He's like Says, well, actually, a whistle was found in Mr. Alexander's room.
Was that also burnt?
I believe so, sir. Yes, it was blood.
But
The detective, the detective brought it to us and blew it and asked us if we thought that was the same whistle.
And did you think it was?
It sounded similar.
Was it a metallic or whistle? What was it made of?
No, it was like a black shape, weird
like a recorder.
No, very small, only a few inches long. Look, carved like a bird or something. But yes, Mr. Alexander's brother had it destroyed along with the rest of his possessions.
Why did he have everything destroyed? Seems quite an extreme act.
Well, I believe Mr. Graham believed Alexander was responsible for his father's death. He just wanted nothing more to do with him. It was just an absolute outrage. Especially especially after the police released him.
I mean, it must have been really upsetting to lose both his father and his sister. And
I'm sure it was for Mr.
You would want somebody to blame,
as well.
And his brother did confess. That is understandable. Did Alexander tell you where he met the lady?
I'm afraid not, sir. Although, as I say, although I found Mr. Alexander to be a likable gentleman, I didn't converse very much.
How long had he been seeing her before the incident?
Oh, I would say maybe 6 months or so. I mean, I like it. As I say, I can't be certain. I only met her on a couple of occasions when she called at the house.
And was there any signs of affection between them, or was it more of like a friendship?
I would say so, sir. Yes, they seemed certainly at some point to be enamored with each other.
Okay.
But the Bancroft, the Bancroft contact quite some time before the death of his father.
Right, that's new information, isn't it? Oh, police! This is an awesome job.
Do you know of any clubs or societies that Mr. Alexander frequented?
I'm afraid not, sir. No.
Did you? Well, you said you didn't really engage with him that much, but
no, we're only downstairs staff, sir.
As it should be. What about his poetry? Did you ever get to see any of his poetry?
I wasn't aware that he wrote poetry, sir.
Yeah, we were told he was interested in poetry.
Quite the poet, apparently.
Maybe love poems to his girlfriend.
It's interesting that they broke it off.
Was there ever any mention of him having dreams, vivid dreams?
Well, again, sir, I would say that would be quite a personal affair, something personal.
Oh, you never overheard his sister or his
that
father?
would be bad.
Oh, come now. We're trying to solve the murders.
I appreciate that, sir, but I don't really appreciate the insinuation that I would be so unprofessional.
I understand you being a butler and your profession, and I'm a doctor and I have standards to maintain. So can I try and persuade him? And then if he doesn't, Gerald, you can beat him. Can I try to persuade?
You can, yeah, if you want.
I will crush him like a paper cup.
Please talk to us. Persuade. Come on. Can I have help off my friend?
Not
No.
really.
I don't need it. I've got 60%. Failed by 1. I'm spending a point of luck. Oh, and we didn't have his luck refresh at the start.
We didn't know, so we can do
Well,
that.
bear that in mind. I
Yeah.
need it because I'm nearly shit out.
Oh, that's a surprise.
I'm on 36.
Right,
So
I
yeah,
didn't
it
use any, and I'm on less than that.
So it just reiterates that he would not compromise his professional integrity.
Yeah, understandable.
So yeah, you can do your luck check as well, but while your luck refresh check while we remember.
You have to roll over, don't you?
You do. It's just like any others.
Look, come
Development
on.
check.
Come on. Oh, look at that. 3%. So I
Or
get
at least, what does your luck start at?
It's random.
It's a roll. It's not like previous editions where it equals your power. I think it's 4d6 times 5 or something, isn't it?
Oh, is that why mine's the shit?
Something crazy like that.
3d6 times 5.
3d6.
Yeah, it's percentage, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can roll under it when I don't need to.
I got 3%. It's like a critical success.
Yeah.
Of not getting any luck.
Okay, so you get the impression there's nothing. He's got nothing more to add.
And
do you think Miss West might have any more information, or do you think she? I mean, you must have compared what you heard, what you saw. You don't think she?
So he tells you that in all the time in this the 2 years that's passed, they've spoke about it on odd occasions, but she's never said anything, revealed anything different to what.
Was there any interaction? I know the brother said there wasn't any, but was there any interaction between his father? I know the father didn't like this woman. What about the sister? Was she not keen on her? Were they of a similar age?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, but again, he's not sure. He doesn't know.
Right, I'm done. Anything else, Mr. Black?
Not that I can think of.
When he just says when she came to the house, it was generally she didn't stay at the house. It was kind of like she'd come to call on Alexander, and then they would go wherever.
Did he ever stay away from the house overnight?
Oh, I imagine so.
Oh, right. And would he come back the following day?
He is, he is like in his 30s, so.
Would he come back the following day after being away at night?
So.
I'm just wondering if he stayed with her somewhere. Is it a local or is it far away? So if he comes back the following day, I presume it's London.
He's not always lived. He's not always lived at. Well, obviously, when he was younger, he lived there. But as he grew up, he moved away. Had jobs and things. So yeah.
So why did he come home? What was the reason for him coming home?
He lost his job.
And what was his job? We don't know.
So the butler will probably know, I suppose.
Lost his job, as in it just ended, or he got sacked.
So he used to work in the Foreign Office. Is a job that his father got him.
Like his father, so he probably too busy writing poetry.
He never really, from what the butler understands, he resigned.
Right.
And then he just kind of drifted around that.
Okie dokie.
took up the life of a dilettante, I suppose, to a certain extent. But like I said, the butler's knowledge of their private lives is limited. Is a professional at heart. He doesn't.
There's just one more thing I just thought about. Who discovered the bodies? Who was the first person to discover the bodies?
I believe it was some of the staff, the domestic staff. Yes, it would have been the domestic
were
staff.
Were you
probably the butler? Probably the butler will have been one of them.
All right. So did I mean, apart from the shock of seeing your master and his daughter murdered, was there anything strange when you any what about smells? I know blood gives off is quite a potent, or not potent, but you can smell iron in blood, fresh blood, can't you? So when they came into the room, was the smell of blood in the room? Any other smells?
It doesn't recall anything unusual other than the base. It says perhaps the shock of the discovery is the sight of it was all that he really remembers.
Did anybody try and administer first aid?
No.
Although he had been exsanguinated, so
no. I'm on about the. I'm not thinking more of the sister because they might have got a look of a closer look at the wounds.
No.
Okay, right. I am done now. Unless we can smell food.
Is there any pork pies knocking around? Or,
So he doesn't let you into the house. He'll discusses this on the door.
How rude! Right. So thank him for his time. Maybe give him some money. Actually, give him a little tip. For keeping his loyalty to his master, maybe.
Yeah.
Good man. I'll give him like a £1 note when I shake his hand, something like that. And here's a book I've written. Right, I'm not going to say that ever again.
So I'll
get my cigars out if you're not.
Yeah, give him a cigar.
He'll take a cigar, but he refuses the money.
Gerald will probably take that.
But that was vaguely useful.
I know the doctor that's employed us. What's he called?
Charles Highsmith.
He's never mentioned this woman. He mentioned him having friends. How has he not known the name of the woman? Has he not?
Because he said this is one of the things he was saying. He's not been made privy to any of Alexander's.
Yeah, but has he not been talking to his patient? That's the bit I don't understand. Is he just basically put him in a asylum room and then not spoken?
That's something to find out, isn't it?
He's getting me to come and do his job. It's like the writing down stuff. You'd want to know what he's writing. You'd probably give him pens or something to write with because you want to know what's in his.
You would have thought so, yeah. Try and get him to write as much as he can.
That's making me think that he's a bit dubious. So yeah, I'm clueless as what to do next. Do we just wait for the train journey, or is there any way of trying to find out who this woman is? I just can't think how you would do it, unless she's made. Could we? I mean, we've got a few days to kill. What about if she's ever come to light in anything? Maybe she's been in a newspaper article. We could go to
You could spend a day checking newspapers and things, see if her name crops up and stuff and some stuff like that, I guess.
Looking into occult circles, that maybe get a list of members.
You could try asking the police.
Yes, see, they might know if she's got a criminal record. You can be posh and still have a criminal record, can't you?
Well, Maybe that's why they didn't like her, because she wasn't posh.
Did we get the? Was it more because it was to do because of the interest of the occult? That's why they didn't like her.
Yeah.
Well, that was
still means she still could have been a
reason
criminal.
they gave anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe that's maybe go back to police, do a library search. Do we know if the family doctor has ever interviewed the other brother? He hasn't, has he? We've never met him or gone to the asylum. The Trollope doctor, Dr. Trollope.
Well, you don't. He signed. He was one of the signatures, or he signed one of the people who signed the papers.
Oh, you see, that makes me think it might be.
So it would. You would assume that, and he was the family physician. So yeah, you would assume his.
He'd know if he's been having dreams and things, and that's all medical files. They'll be in his office. We could visit his office. I mean, we could do that when we come back from the asylum, couldn't we? After we've assessed him.
I mean, he'll be by that time. He'll be back anyway.
Actually, we'll probably understand what's going on a bit more. Doubt it. And actually,
if need be, we can hire a private investigator.
Yeah. To break it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So library, police station.
Okay. Yeah. So you're making your way back to going back to your places of residence then for the evening?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. So so you go. You probably, I presume, you'll go part way together before you go your separate ways. So you catch the underground.
I know where Charles is.
Yeah.
He's paid that actress a visit.
Yeah.
Is somewhat engaged, I reckon.
So yeah, like I say, you catch the underground and make your way home. You get to a certain point in the transport system where you part ways, and as you're getting your connecting train or going out to catch leaving the underground to catch an omnibus or whatever, you disturb somebody who on the stairs leading up from the underground, and as you come around the corner, you disturb them, and they'll like run off up the stairs. As they run, and they kick over this can of paint which spills down the stairs. Where they were stood, daubed in paint, is in big sort of like big capital letters. It says "The King," but not only that, it's been written 5 times, and by 5 different people.
Oh, clearly a dare.
Definitely different handwriting.
Oh yeah, it's clearly different handwriting.
And where is it? Going up the side of the stairs?
Yeah, kind of just like about halfway up the steps leading up out the underground.
And is it different coloured paint?
Yeah.
Clearly, the local hoodlums have been
gang
daring each other.
No.
To tag the walls.
Yeah. No symbols.
Does it say anywhere Romanis Eodomus?
No, there's no symbol with it. It's just the king.
No, just says the king.
Right. Do you want a sanity roll for that?
No.
Have all these people seen the play? What we saw? Because that's the mention of the king. Is it not?
They're clearly just what is it? 1928. They're clearly just upstanding royalists.
Well, I mean that's
right and proper.
This would unsettle me because
the king.
Like that's just too weird. What did the guy look like that ran off? normal, just average? Wasn't?
Just pretty average. I mean, you couldn't see him very well. He decked out, dressed for the weather.
Do you need any paint? Oh no, he's kicked it over.
It's always handy.
Well,
no, he's kicked it over.
Yeah.
Might be a bit left, didn't think. I won't pick it up though, because if a policeman sees you, he'll probably...
Oh,
yeah,
you!
he'll do us for.
Well, that's a lot better than what I thought was going to happen. I thought we were going to get attacked.
Yeah.
I pushed under a train. Well, there's not a lot we can do about that. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's just a bit odd.
Okay. So you part ways, eventually part ways, and go and retire to your homes. Is there any, unless there's anything you want to do at your respective abodes, we can move to the next day.
I don't really want to roleplay it, but can I phone the Dr. Highsmith? And just ask him if was it Delia
Harton.
Yeah, her. Has he heard the name?
So
Alexander ever mentioned her to him, and does he know where she lives?
So it tells you. So he's quite intrigued that you bring this name up, because Alexander has, in some of his ramblings, he has mentioned the name Delia, but no other name, just Delia, and he has no context for the name. He doesn't know who she is. His requests is like mention this name to in correspondence to Graham Roby or to Dr. Trollope, has got no sort of further information.
Well, I believe she's the lady responsible for breaking Alexander's heart. So yeah, we really do need. I would really want to find her and talk to her. And she's the family did not like her, and I'll mention the occult. She had an interest in the occult, which apparently Alexander shared.
Okay, so it says, "Oh, this is all very interesting stuff. All very useful. We can, if perhaps we can speak more on this. Will you be joining me?
We'll be travelling down with you on the train.
Then we can speak in more detail on these anything you've discovered.
We have spoken to the brother. The Dr. Trollope was away, unfortunately, at a convention. But we've spoken to some of the ex-staff who confirm some of the police report. And the brother is adamant that Alexander should stay in the asylum and rot. He's dead to him, I believe. So,
and unfortunately, he burnt all of his belongings.
Yeah, and I'll mention that as well. So we're definitely going to go down with him on the train, but we've got a few more leads to follow, which we'll tell him about when we meet up with him.
Right. So he passes on to. So he'll look forward to having a more in-depth discussion on what you've found out, and he gives you details of the departure times, and that he'll either meet you at in the lobby of the hotel or on the actual platform.
Very good.
So, shall we move it to the next day, which I believe you're just going to do some rolls to see if you pick up any information on.
See if
critical
talk
success.
To the police again.
How good are you at library use, Gerald?
I am quite good.
On
account of being.
How good is quite good? 40%?
More.
So, if I assist you with the library, and then you can assist me going to the cop shop.
Sounds fair.
Is that okay, Phil?
Yeah.
So we hit the library.
Library.
So,
Okay, so it'd be
And that is
a
a
good 4-hour
bonus
stint
dice,
at the
isn't it?
library.
Bonus dice.
Yeah.
And so, what is it you're doing?
Her
Well,
name.
Trying to find go through, like, are there any occult societies possibly that
She's
they might
named
have
in
been
any of them.
involved
Okay,
with?
so it's most likely you're going to be going through old newspapers and things.
Has she ever made a newspaper? But has she ever been in a
Periodicals.
noticial article?
I mean, you know, the main library in London is probably going to have like periodicals of, you know, for various interests, as well as newspapers and things like that.
We don't know what kind of class. Maybe if she's upper class, she should be more prominent, maybe. And would if she has got a criminal past, it might be in the normal papers, but we can find that out at police station, can't we? The
proceedings of the London Occult Society, which is definitely a society that exists in London.
It is. There's
there'll
be several
clubs.
occult societies. Yeah, parapsychical. There's a parapsych research. Organisation.
If they've got any like official proceedings that have been registered.
So
let's hope it's not a false name, which it might be.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, like I say, you can have one roll for that'll take a quarter day, take 4 hours. Right. Nothing.
Bungo.
Nothing. At all.
You
find no mention of her name at all.
Spend 30 luck. Might increase your chances.
But, you know, at the same time,
so
you don't find any mention of Alexander Roby's name in that kind of area either.
What if he pushes it and I give him a cup of coffee and he pushes it?
It won't. I'll save you the trouble. It won't. There's nothing.
So we have a pleasant afternoon in the library.
That's a success in its own right.
Yeah. You're not finding anything
is
learning something in itself.
I mean, it's warm in. It's freezing out there. Bonus.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. The pigs.
Yeah. The police officers. Let's go visit the.
Okay, so what you're going to go to? Scotland Yard Central Police Station?
Yeah.
I mean, can we actually try and talk to?
The inspector.
Inspector Stevens.
Yeah, instead of the dog's body,
rather than
let's talk to the
his little minion,
the head.
Okay.
Now we've spoken to the family. We've probably got a bit more weight, haven't we?
Possibly.
And you being an inquiry agent, they'll probably help.
Okay, so you can, if you want to get in to speak to the inspector, Inspector Stevens, can either make a law roll or a credit rating roll.
Oh, it's going to be credit rating.
Ooh. No assist.
I'm going to be low, obviously, because I've got 5% in that. That has really spoiled
I'd definitely be up for a law roll.
It spoiled my character. He should have had some in law. I can't believe I didn't put some in. Instead of like chemistry. Right. Persuade. No, not persuade. Credit rating. Same percentage, I think. Credit rating. Somebody's pinched it. Is here. All right. Here goes. Come on. Oh, my God. I can't believe an inspector wouldn't come and talk to me.
Don't you know who? Push it. Come on.
Kick off and spend the afternoon in the cell.
Don't you know? Push it with a.
Don't you know who I am? I work with you people.
Yeah, so if you push it and you fail, I would say that basically you're going to get a bad name for yourself. No, you're not going to get arrested, but they'll
get ejected.
You'll get ejected, and that'll be you kind of blacklisted.
Don't you put
Get your hands off me!
I want your number. I'm going to put in an official complaint.
But yeah, that'll be you. Like, no, they won't deal.
No,
with
I'm not. I'll not do that.
Okay.
I think I failed persuade last time. That's why we ended up with Sergeant. I think.
No, you did it. You succeeded last time. It just.
Because we just showed up, but we only got.
How about is it possible to book an appointment with him?
No. So you so let's say you get in to see him briefly, and he's kind of distracted. He's obviously really busy, and he looks tired.
Well, how about if we can arrange an appointment for when we come back from the asylum?
So he basically tells you that he's not interested in talking to amateurs unless you have some new hard evidence to present to him.
Well, that's reasonable. We are going to go and see Alexander in the asylum, and we do have a few more leads, so we will come back to you. We've got avenues of investigation which the police force seem to have missed.
Right,
if I bring this to your superior's attention when I come back, things might happen, maybe. But
okay, that doesn't exactly enamor you to him, but so he just.
Well, they're not enamored to me because they've not done a very good job, and I would expect a police inspector to talk to me.
Piss them off completely. Can we ask them about Delia Hartson? If it's a name they've come across at all. Does she have a good?
You can make a fast talk roll. See if you can. You're there, so see if you can just get it out because he's basically brushing you off. Okay, so yeah, so yes, they are aware of Delia. They are aware of Delia Hartson. They didn't. They didn't speak to her because Alexander had no contact with her for months before the event happened.
They've just heard the name. It's not like a criminal link or right.
No. They don't mention. They don't no. So they never chased. It wasn't seen as relevant because, like I say, she had not had any contact with him for months.
So they never visited her or anything like that. They never. No.
Do they know where we might be able to?
No, that's all you get from him.
That's something we might get off him into if he's of sound mind, which I doubt it's going to be.
That's all you get.
Going to be off his tits on loading him or something, isn't he?
Well, there was a thing about him being drugged, wasn't there? It's probably due his next course of drugs to send him looping. My next character is going to be a policeman.
My next character is going to be an occultist.
Or a cult leader.
Yeah. On the winning side.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Library
so.
Police.
We don't know where she is.
Probably phone Charles, see how his date went.
Yeah.
Tell
him what a successful day we've had. What have you been up to?
I know. Have you still got the book that Charles borrowed? We could take the book back.
No, I think Charles has got that.
Oh,
damn.
We could go around to Charles's and pick the book up and take it back on his behalf.
Take it back.
Yeah.
Charles says thanks and oops.
Well, we were going to ask we were going to ask some of the actors if they'd heard of.
Yes.
Oh no, but they're not. It's not linked to it, as far as we know.
No, it was purely a speculative. They're a bunch of occultist weirdos. She's an occultist weirdo. Do they happen to know each other?
Yeah.
That was all I was thinking.
So yeah, speaking to Charles, he kind of tells you that he's spending. He's going to be spending the weekend with Jean.
You dirty rascal.
To discuss some career opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh, has the play had any more performances?
No,
totally cancelled. Totally
yeah.
cancelled. But... So I can't think of anything else we can do now until we get on that train.
No.
Blah.
Everybody's just trying to avoid us, aren't they? Which is baffling. Why anybody would be trying to avoid such fine, upstanding individuals as ourselves.
How's this for desperate? Can we have roll idea rolls to think of what to do next?
I think you've done pretty well so far.
Extreme success. We want to do it next bit with Charles, don't we? So are we gonna end there, or how long are you good for, Dave, or Phil even?
Well, I'm okay for a while yet.
I think we probably ought to have Charles on the train.
Mm.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we can do.
Might be worth. Should we take a short break and maybe if we can
driving to Brighton,
we might be able to sort of raise Andy or something.
Well, you can, but if he's got an early start tomorrow, he's not going to be coming on.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
If he's had an 8-hour drive back from London.
Yeah, true.
Presuming he's home, he might even be
I
back.
think I looked out.
I mean, we normally finish about 10:30, don't we? So
yeah.
Miss
West, right? So Miss West, we can't get hold of because she's knobbed off to see like a dying mother or some sort of pitiful excuse like that.
How about going to some of these occult societies and asking, do you know this particular person?
To be honest, I can probably have at least half an excuse
I would presume you know
occultist bookseller.
I would presume you know occultists, so maybe actually visit the people.
Can I have I know I had an occult role for Did I Know Her, but can I go to a couple of these places on I'm an occult book dealer. I'm trying to track down some rare volumes. I've heard that she might know a thing or two about, the big book of occulty whistles, for instance. Big bumper book of monsters with knives for hands.
Well, your customers...
Can they help me get in contact with her?
Or even if they know a name and where she lives.
Yeah, see if I can call in a few favours from people what I know from buying dodgy books.
Okay. So I suppose you can spend the rest of the day doing that if you want.
Yeah, just sort of ringing around a few people, calling in a few favours.
So
I do have a cult of 30 going with which is from reading books about it rather than actually a practical knowledge. It is very much from having loads of dodgy books pass over my desk.
So yeah, I suppose give us an occult roll then.
This is where you need the 0-1 and to spend all your luck.
Are we ready?
Fingers crossed.
Oh!
That's not going to do it.
Bollocks. Oi,
so
nuts.
so no, you don't.
Can I push it by calling them, by going, oi, fuck nuts, tell me what you know? Otherwise, I'll send Big Merv round.
They'll never buy books off you again.
So to do that, and then if it fails, ostracize yourself from your your community.
Like my key market.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
You do sound. If you don't push it though, you do find, by chance, you do come across something interesting.
Oh,
Nothing related to Delia Hartson.
Hartson.
It's there in front of me. In a forgotten corner of your own shop, you find when you maybe like after this failed attempt, you're going round your shop, just doing a bit of housekeeping, maybe picking up all the piles of books that are just scattered across the floor, a bit of dusting, and you come across a book that you forgot you
adding
you
extra
had.
dust, that is.
A book by a weird fiction author, Robert W. Chambers, called The King in Yellow.
Something. It's probably too late now. We know Alexander was into the occult. Maybe he's a member of the club. Maybe we should have asked if any of them knew him.
So I would say that would have been covered by what you were doing
with a roll of 92.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you've been looking before, if something had cropped up, it wouldn't be unreasonable to assume that you were, you know, if you'd have spotted when you were looking for one name, if you saw another name that you're aware of.
Hang on a minute. Was that play not about the King in Yellow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. So maybe the play was the play. Is this the book of the play, or is that the play of the book, or are they just vaguely related?
So this is. Let me find.
I'll settle down with a hot cocoa.
Where have you found this book? In your own shop?
In my propping up one of the tables.
You seem to do that with a lot of your books. Very valuable. Maybe you should buy a new table.
Possibly.
You don't need to, do you? Got
money on books.
Yeah.
My tables are actually made of book.
Do you sell them like slightly marked with table leg?
Yeah.
Get a reduction.
And coffee stains are extra.
Yeah, slightly dinted and stained with coffee.
That's really where I can't find it now.
So what is this book? Is it about the play or?
So no, it is. So it seems to be. It's a book of weird short stories that appears to been inspired by rumors and stories of the play.
So when was this written?
It was written 1898, I believe. I've got a thing on it somewhere. I'm just trying to find it. I can't for life find the bloody book.
When was the original? Was it 1890? Something like
so
that.
So the original French was about 1870.
1870.
Where the hell are you?
So short stories inspired by the play.
Yes.
Is there any symbol on the book?
There is. There is a yellow sign on the cover of the book.
Oh, nice.
Does it make Gerald
No, it does
feel
not.
queasy?
It does not.
Poor.
Well, yeah, I will settle in with
I can't believe I can't find
cocoa
this stupid
and a
thing.
fine cigar.
Check it for scribbles. See if anybody's scribbled anything down on it.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. I can't find the bloody thing about it. Thought I'd bookmarked it as well.
10 stories.
Yeah, so you can
It
probably
isn't
Google a summary of it anyway,
Of Wikipedia.
since it is a genuine an actual book.
Playing first 4 stories are loosely connected by 3 main devices: a plain book form entitled The King in Yellow, a mysterious and malevolent supernatural gothic entity known as the King in... That was the big fella, I think, with the drawing on his thing, and a symbol called the Yellow Sign. Oh. The first and 4th stories, The Repair of Reputations and the Yellow Sign, are set in an imagined future 1920s America. Well, now.
That's really annoying. Where can I find it? Ah, there it is. Looking at the wrong section. So yes, it is. Oh no, that's not it at all.
Can I roll my Cthulhu Mythos?
To what end?
Anything I can. I got it from reading the book, didn't I? From reading the.
You did?
Anything that we can use that's to do with the King in Yellow. I mean, I've only got 5%. It's not going to happen, is it? But maybe to tie in with what the book that he's reading.
Uh-huh.
Like the future, that future date, 1920. Is there any mention of going to the future in the play? What else? What about like the we know he's having dreams and visions. Any like mention of those people having those?
Yeah, I found it.
What about poetry? Any poems that come to mind from it?
What was that? Sorry, I was. Sorry, I was half listening.
I said it a few seconds ago, so I forgot. So, anything relating to the 1920 connection from the book that Gerald's reading. This is the play, like going into the future. Anything to do with like poetry, and then Alexander's having these visions and dreams. Like more information about people having dreams and visions.
Do you want a bit of that from a Cthulhu Mythos roll?
Yeah, with 5%.
Go on, I guess.
But I mean, I obviously don't believe what
No.
I'm reading. No.
No. So I found the entry for the. For some reason, it weren't in like a highlighted section. So Robert Chambers and the King in Yellow. So The King in Yellow by Robert Chambers, written in 1895, and it was quite a popular. So Gerald, you're probably finding it probably jogs your memory. So you know this book was quite well received. It was a very popular book. In spite of it being like a horror genre book.
Weird fiction.
Weird fiction kind of book.
Very niche.
So you can make a no roll as well, I guess, Gerald. With a bonus dice as well, why not? Since it's this is your area of expertise.
Does he have one?
Cheeky.
See if you know how much you know about it all.
001. 0001.
That's enough. That's enough. So, Robert Chambers, you know a bit about the author and whatever. So Robert Chambers was born in Brooklyn, in New York.
Did you see what the other dice got me, by the way?
I didn't know. What was it?
Wow. It was 100.
Oh.
Just like having aneurysm.
Full kettle or coffee pot.
Just burst into flames.
Tip the beans on the book, add hot water.
Then jump up,
slam it shut.
Try to put it out with a fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're born in Brooklyn, New York, and as a young man, he studied art in Paris.
I'm literally just reading this off the back of the dust sheet, aren't I?
Pretty much.
I don't know anything. I'm just reading the blurb.
So he returned to America and worked as an illustrator before turning to becoming a fiction writer. He doesn't consider himself to be like a fantasist, although he claimed he takes his influence as Alan Edgar Poe and James Bierce, and Bierce anyway. I can't remember his first name. And the vast majority of his output is not sort of weird fiction at all, or fiction in general. By this time, by 1928, he's has become quite successful and is quite wealthy, and he currently lives in New York.
And in that book, it mentions what was it mentioning about America?
So,
like a futuristic version of America was a couple of the stories.
Yeah.
Because that is it Carcosa or whatever it's called? The city that it appears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it can go to different locations.
That was the gist of the play. So
yeah. So in his book, it goes to like the city, or it goes to America, but in the future.
No, it's kind of there's the kind of all subtle sort of hints, or there's nothing direct. There's the stories mention like elements of the play, so like the reparations or reputations or whatever it is.
So
it mentions the yellow sign, and the yellow sign is like this sign of like a heraldry of a royal family, like a royal seal, and then there's other stories that set about the time it was written, in about the 1890s in Paris. There's more a horror story about a figure that's seen by this young couple, or this guy was an artist, and his model that he paints, and they keep seeing this figure, and this figure drops a seal, and this seal turns out to be the yellow sign, and this artist is pursued or haunted by this figure, and he's eventually catches up with him and is killed by it.
So you say he studied in Paris.
Yeah.
Did he read the original then in Paris while he was in France, or a copy of?
It never actually says. So it must have been aware of it, because it's like I say, it's obviously inspired by elements of the story.
And it's going off like what's written in the book. We presume he's still alive and he's living.
Oh yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, he lives in New York.
Let's go to New York.
Yeah, let's just pay him a visit.
Yeah, let's go and call. Let's just pop over. I mean, he might have a copy of the book. Don't spill coffee on this one. He's had access to it, hasn't he? Or is there a copy in the libraries in No, they're all destroyed.
No, they're
weren't
all
they?
destroyed. Yeah.
They'd be like private collector that would have one, not a
But
library.
yeah, so that's a little bit of homework. That you can, if between now and the next session, you can find yourself a copy and read it.
I've got a copy somewhere. Probably explains why I've ended up like I am.
So, what is that book about? Is it based off Lovecraft's work?
No, so it's before Lovecraft's.
The actual the story. It's not a Lovecraft story.
No.
No.
He stole bits from it basically.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was his thing. So he stole that off somebody else
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
put it into his thing.
Yeah.
And Chambers stole some of the ideas from Dunsey, was it?
Ambrose.
Ambrose Bierce. Yeah.
So is the original? Is that the actual setting for it? Then it happened. It was written in 1870. The play.
That's when it was supposedly written. Yeah.
But obviously, people didn't go mad.
Well, I think the play
and the copies weren't burnt, or is that true? Is that a true?
No. So that's just like made up. It's just a premise of this. It's like that's what he. Yeah.
So it's just a play. It's a play about this royal family.
Yeah. In real life, the idea of the play comes from this book.
No, it's real. It's real. It's all real. The mythos is real.
But yeah. But in the game, this is obviously inspired by that. But yeah, there's like 10 stories. But yeah, so you can read. You can get a copy. Your investigators can get a copy and read it.
In fact,
I'm going to read about Richard.
Oh, there's audiobooks of it as well. Get a photograph.
Hang on. If you go on to Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And look it up, top right-hand corner, because it was written in like 1895.
Yeah.
It's open source.
Yeah.
So you can actually download a copy from Wikisource, but there's a link.
And there'll be audio. There'll be audio, people doing readings of it on YouTube, no doubt.
But yeah, it's open source is the king in yellow, so you can just download it and read it. I have got a paper copy somewhere, but I've got far too many books in this house, in all sorts of cupboards.
I'm back. Are we to end there? Because it's 25 past.
I suppose that would be. We can leave it there. So we
have some homework.
Head off on a train for next session.
Yes. So yeah. So you got like Dave says, you got some homework, and we can start next session with the trip to St Agnes.
Hopefully,
Agnes's Asylum.
Charles hasn't gone off to Gretna Green to get married, and
we'll have to drag him back.
Yeah, it's him that he's lost his sanity. He's gone crazy over a woman.
Yeah. We have made a bit of progress, though.
Yeah, I think we did quite well. We haven't killed anybody. We haven't injured anybody. We haven't burnt a house down.
We haven't been actively chased out of London by an angry mob.
We did not get arrested, nearly. We've not. We didn't kidnap a dog or any children. We've done really well.
Yeah. And we have got a couple of extra things to ask Alexander about when we meet him.
If he's still alive. That nurse aunt nobbled him. But why?
In some sense of the word.
I'm really intrigued as to what the connection with the nurse is. Why the nurse was? Are they trying to help him?
Or are they trying to get information out of him?
Yeah. Are they connected to the woman? But
yeah.
Why won't she just still be with him?
Or can they not approach him directly? So yeah, they're trying to get him to write down what he knows.
We need to know. Were we told they ended the relationship? Did she end it, or did he end it, or didn't they know?
So you don't know.
But he still talks about it, so I presume she would have ended it, and that's why he's he was heartbroken, but I'm presuming she's responsible for his murder. Maybe, but
although
why would she break
the
it off
whistle
and
came
murder him?
from inside the house, though, so that kind of implies that he blew the whistle.
No, his whistle was upstairs, wasn't it? With him.
Yeah, so he blew it.
But was the whistle heard upstairs or downstairs?
It was.
down-
So
They
it was
said
heard.
it came from inside the house.
Yeah. So the domestic staff heard they heard a whistle that they thought came from somewhere inside the house.
Oh, right. So he could have blown the whistle.
He's the one which is maybe that's why he thinks that he was responsible, because actually he was.
Well, now you've just told me that, because I totally missed that. Yeah, he was responsible, because I'm out of game. I know what he's done, or what happened.
Yeah,
because I know about the whistle thing. So he's responsible.
Yeah, either deliberately or accidentally.
Yeah, maybe he didn't have.
Maybe he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah. The whole summoned without bind. Oops.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. That's one of the along with starting a land war in Asia, that is one of the classic blunders.
Oh yeah, make sure you have the other half of the spell.
Never go up against the Sicilian when death is on the line. And always make sure you have bind as well as summon.
So the knife marks wounds aren't knife wounds, are they? They're like claws or talons.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and the loss of blood, that now makes sense as well. Thinking about it, the fluff, yeah. I think. Anyway,
whether it's accidental or deliberate, or it's just general ineptitude. But yeah, are they trying to get information out of him the only way they can, or are they trying to help him?
Well, yeah, we need to know where he got that ability, but we don't know about that ability, though, do we?
No.
Thinking things that we can't
expunge the metagaming from your mind.
Maybe if somebody hadn't spilled coffee on we might have had access to.
If somebody hadn't burnt all of his belongings,
yeah, that's not very helpful.
Life would be a lot easier.
The scribbles on that book were written by the person that wrote the play, so we probably do need to talk to him again, because we've got to tell him that we've fecked his book up, but so we want to know what his notes actually said. That's the only way we'd find out, isn't it?
So I think you do know what the notes kind of, so that notes is basically been like writing notes for annotations for his play.
They weren't like just from they weren't like notes of a madman then.
No. So he was like making annotations and trying and like and things about so for his play.
So it's not sus. We don't have to go and murder him and his partner.
I mean, we can.
when we become full-on cultists, yeah, we'll do that. He's probably got some other books.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
It's now gone off past. So.
Radio then. So we're going to leave it there then and pick up with a nice trip to Herefordshire on the Welsh border next week.
Marvelous.
Cool.
I'm sure it will be lovely. Take sandwiches and lashings of ginger beer.
Ginger beer, yes.
and some
lashings as well.